Mr. Paul Hamilton, our Sabres beat reporter. His appearance brought to you by Relax Honda. Relax, we got this. Jeremy and Joe on a Tuesday morning following a Sabres overtime loss to the Boston Bruins. Good morning, everyone out there. Thanks for joining us. Paul, good morning.
How are you?
We're all right. You know, we licked our wounds in the opening hour. Just, you know, Sabres lost the game at home. Mm-hmm. It's fine. You know, it happens. They got a point. Their point streak continues.
A losing streak, Paul.
A losing streak. A point streak and a losing streak. You know, there's plenty to get to, Paul. There's the big picture, small picture, what happened. I feel like I heard your voice, and I got to do it every time. When you come back from a Western Conference road trip, you're going to be bad. That's how it always happens. And every time I talk myself into, well, maybe not this time. And sure enough, maybe it doesn't have to be the reason, Paul, but it happened again, right? The 40 minutes of just blech.
I can't explain it. And it happened at Tampa too. But Tampa they snapped out of it after 2 periods, and Lindy Ruff liked their third period better than I did. I mean, the Sabres did have that little stretch where they came back. I mean, the fans went nuts. I mean, when the Sabres took the lead, they got the 2 goals back to back very quickly in 33 seconds. I mean, by the second goal, they were blowing the lid off the place. It was loud in there. And but I didn't think they were all that good after that. I mean, I thought they kind of went back to the way they were earlier in the game. They were just kind of blah. You know, it just there wasn't they were losing battles. They were getting to battles late. They just didn't have a lot of spunk. They didn't have a lot of energy. It was just I just can't explain it, how that happens coming back from the West Coast trip, but it very often does. I can't say it happens every single time, but it happens more times than it doesn't. And but they still got a point out of it. You know, I go back to these last 2 games, and if we would have watched those 2 games last year or the year before, or whatever, those would have been losses. They wouldn't have gotten points out of those games. They wouldn't have come back from 4-2 down in the third period in Anaheim and taken the lead and gotten a point out of the game. They wouldn't have come back last night and gotten a point out of the game. So they are a different team, definitely. I mean, they can play bad and still get points out of games, and they're not going to be great in all 82 games. And I was, as we were just talking, we were getting ready to come on here, I was just looking at the standings, and like they have, the last 10 games in the Eastern Conference. Look at the teams that are doing well in the last 10. I mean, the Sabres are 7-1-2. The Senators are 8-2. The Blue Jackets are 6-1-3. The Lightning are 6-3-1. The Canadiens are 6-3-1. I mean, so many teams in the Eastern Conference. Philadelphia is 6-3-1. In the last 10 games are playing so well. It's the end of the year, and, people are fighting for points.
Right. There's a chance all 8 teams in the East making the playoffs could have 100 points. I think 99 is the cutoff right now, at least the pace of the cutoff.
Yeah. I just remember it once. I remember the Washington Capitals around COVID time, somewhere in there, were 8th place with 100 points.
Right. It usually is in the low. Like last year was 91, I think, and this year it's going to be up around 100. Lindy said he think maybe their poorest play in 3 months. Was it that bad for you, Paul?
It was. I mean, Alex Tuch just didn't have it. We're sitting there talking about Alex Tuch and Josh Doan losing battles along the wall. That we're not talking about that ever. Yeah. But we are from last night. McLeod had his worst game as a Sabre by far. I mean, he was on the ice for 3 goals against and responsible for 2 of them. That overtime goal, he just waved his stick at Pasternak on the way by and turned away from him. It's like, that's what I used to watch J.J. Peterka do. Not Ryan McLeod, who was a very, very good two-way center. It wasn't his night. I mean, I don't think since Ryan McLeod was traded here, I don't think I've sat there and said, well, boy, he really played poorly last night. He didn't have it. It just wasn't, Alex Tuck along the wall. They both on the Arvidsson goal. I mean, Alex Tuck didn't. I mean, it was late to the battle. Didn't win the battle. Couldn't get the puck out. And then Ryan McLeod's gliding back on Arvidsson. What a great play by Luukkonen on the poke check on Pasternak, who wasn't expecting that at all. And he poke checks the puck away from him. And if McLeod's moving his feet, not gliding, he's got Arvidsson. And Arvidsson doesn't get the puck on the rebound to put it in. Just things like we never see. And we saw it. And again, guys aren't perfect. I'm not getting on Ryan McLeod or Alex Tucker because 9 times out of 10 they have good games. But it wasn't their night, and they weren't the only ones.
Paul Hamilton joining us on last night's Sabres game. You can give a ring if you want, 803-0550 and 1-888-552-550. Paul, you said there are a lot of players who it wasn't their night. I thought about Luke, and we started talking about him opening up as well. Just like one thing that stands out about these last 2 games is that their goalies have been excellent and bailed them out a lot of times and saves above expected, all that. And the last 2 games, I feel like neither goaltender played abysmally, but you probably had saves that you wanted. And, when the margins are getting thin in the playoffs, you're going to need a couple of those saves.
For me, the overtime goal is that goal that we're talking about. Luukkonen just, I don't know what happened. He wasn't at all set for the shot from Zacha. And again, Tuck was back, but Tuck was looking at Pasternak after McLeod had waved at him, and so was Dahlin. Dahlin had Pasternak, and Tuck was back. He didn't look at Zacha. So that Zacha has a clean chance, and Luukkonen wasn't set at all. I mean, it went through the legs, and you need a save there by far. The other one, the tying goal, he didn't know where the puck was. I mean, the puck came, and it hit his blocker, and then it goes off the back wall, and he's searching. You could almost see that he heard the puck hit the back wall, and he's like, "Where is it?" And he's looking. He looked over his left shoulder, he couldn't find it, and Casey Middlestat standing in the crease, he found it. It came right to him, and he's able to tap it in the empty net. So I'm not getting on Luukkonen for that one. He's just trying to locate the puck and didn't know where it was. As I said, he's going by sound, and he hears it come off the back wall, and unfortunately for him, it didn't come off where he looked. And so I'm not getting on that one. But the overtime goal, yeah, he didn't look set. He didn't look ready, and it went right through his legs.
Paul Hamilton with us on the West Her Hotline. How did you think that Timmins looked? And there was really the only change they made to the lineup. I was wondering how that pairing would look. It didn't look bad, right?
Yeah, no, let's talk positive. I think that was the best game I've ever seen Timmins play as a Sabre. I thought he was great. Penalty kill, he was solid. Rock solid 5-on-5. He wasn't turning the puck over. He made good decisions. I liked his game a lot. I really thought he played well. And let's look at the special teams. After the special teams were putrid against Anaheim, giving up 3 power play goals, and the power play was just nowhere. It was the other way. The penalty kill was really good. And let's talk about something good about Tuck and McLeod. One of the penalty kills, they got another break. Tuck went in and he hit the post. And that's the thing, they hit 2 posts. I mean, Krebs on a 2-on-1 hits it solid. He beats Korpisalo, and Tuck beat Korpisalo on coming in on shorthanded and hit the post. So even through it all, what we're talking about here, if those 2 posts are goals, we might be talking about a whole different game here. But the penalty kill I thought was very good, and of course they got the 2 power play goals. All they did is tweak a few things. They tweaked. They put Jack Quinn on the number 1 unit for Doan, and it wasn't because they don't like Doan. It's just let's tweak a few things here. It's not going well, and they moved Thompson around. Thompson made 2 really good passes to Zucker. And they got him moving in the zone, and the Bruins didn't know what they were looking at because it was totally different. So the power play came through with 2 goals. The penalty kill was stellar. So that's a positive right there that they turned the special teams around, and probably the only reason they got a point is because their special teams were good.
For Timmins to get in, it was, make sure he gets a look. I mean, Paul, you liked how well he played. Does he stay in? What do the Sabres do with their depth on the blue line?
They might, because Metz is really good too. They may play them both. Yeah, and this is only a guess why Timmins played this game. And I guessed this, after the morning skate, a couple of people asked me on Twitter, and I responded that, well, this is only a guess, but the penalty kill in the last 2 games had only killed 4 out of 7 penalties. 3 power play goals against, and Timmins is a very, very good penalty killer before he got injured. He's a shot blocking machine usually. So I speculated that maybe Lindy Ruff, first of all, wanted to get him in the game and had nothing to do with Metsä. Metsä's played very well. I don't think that was like, oh, Metsä, we got to get him out of it. No. I think he wanted to get Timmins into a game, and the penalty kill, which Metsä wasn't a part of, he knew he was putting a good penalty killer into the game when they had struggled the last 2 games on the penalty kill. So I think maybe Lindy Ruff saw a spot to put Timmins in because he's ready to play. He's been practicing for a couple of weeks now. And it's like the penalty kill really has not been good for two games, and he's a good penalty killer. You know what? Now's as good a time as any to put him into a hockey game. And it's exactly how it works. So I'm just speculating that, but it did help the penalty kill.
Zach Benson is clearly all the way back from some slow play out of the Olympic break.
Remember the first goal he scored in the NHL? That little slick move he made.
Between the legs.
And what a play. First of all, to come down on an offensive type of defenseman, not a very good defensive defenseman, and strips him of the puck, comes in on a breakaway, and puts just a great move. What a goal scorer's move. I mean, he showed why he scored goals in junior. A goal scorer's goal. And then because everybody hates Benson and the defenseman was embarrassed, he cross-checks him afterwards because everybody wants to cross-check Benson. And I mentioned it to him on the post-game. He goes, well, I don't like being cross-checked, but he goes, I'll take that every single time if they want to do that and take a penalty because they made them pay on the penalty. That 33 seconds later on the power play, they scored. If I'm Boston's coach, that would have been that guy's last shift. I mean, that was just stupid what he did. He just cross-checks Benson into the net after he scores because he embarrassed him with a great play to strip him the puck. And I'd be saying, look, not only do you get stripped of the puck, then you commit him to take a stupid penalty like that, and you cost us 2 goals. Your night's over. Take a seat, my friend. But they didn't bench him, but I would have.
Benson, by the way, he's putting up these points playing like on the 4th line, right? Like he's not playing a ton. He's playing 11, 12 minutes a night while doing this. There's time for this after the year. But what's his next contract? You think? Like he's an RFA at the end of the year. Like he's on a 50+ point pace if he had been healthy all year. So I don't know. Couldn't they do a long-term deal if they wanted with him, or do you think Bridge, even though those aren't that common anymore, is more likely?
Depends if they sign Tuck.
Yeah.
If they sign Tuck,
right, yeah.
they need. There are some guys, if they sign Tuck, if I'm Jarmo Kekalainen, Allenstein, Benson, I come to them and I said, look, we have 1 year of a bad salary cap here. Because Tuck, if they sign him, it's going to be over $10 million. I don't think he's signing for anything less. I could be wrong. But, and then, the Skinner money for 1 year really grows, and you're in a salary cap problem. So I would tell those guys, I need you guys to help me out for 1 year. Maybe sign them to a 1-year deal, and I will take care of you the next year. I promise you I will take care of you the next year, but I need you to give us a 1-year deal at a fairly inexpensive contract, and I need you to trust me that I will take care of you the year after. But we have 1 year of salary cap jail, and that's if Tuck signs. Right. So that's how I would handle those guys. If Tuck's gone, yeah. I mean, people are talking about maybe a $6 million per season type of thing for Benson. I don't know if that's where he falls or not. But if Tuck signs, I don't think you can do that for 1 year. I think you could do it the year after. So that's how I would handle things. Whether those players would be agreeable to that, I don't know, but also you can, what are you going to do with Byram now?
Right.
Because I think the only reason Byram was a little. He likes Buffalo. He likes the team. He likes his teammates. You could tell that. And it was like, I think the only hesitation he had was the losing. He hated the losing being here in Buffalo. So, and he showed us that he liked the Sabres because he did okay, let's do 2 years and let's give it a try. Let's see how this is going to go. So maybe Byram now is open to doing a long-term contract. Now, that wouldn't go against next year's cap. It would go the year after. Mm-hmm. But, are the Sabres interested in locking him up to a long-term deal before he becomes an unrestricted free agent?
Paul, quick playoff preview talk. This homestand, Boston last night, the Islanders coming up, the Red Wings are the next game, potential opponents. Did you come away thinking anything about what a Buffalo-Boston series might look like, or whether it's Zadorov and how he played out there, or how the Sabres might respond, or who might want to, take the physical edge in a series like that? Like, we know the playoffs do change, so does last night's game give you any sort of preview, understanding that the Sabres did look pretty flat?
Yeah, and it's hard to figure the Boston series because don't forget the 2 games in Boston were both in October. And then the one home game Buffalo won was in December. And these 2 teams are different. The one thing I like about playing the Bruins is they will take stupid penalties. And Zadorov is right on. Zadorov is the dumbest player in the NHL. He's a good defenseman. I like him as a defenseman, but he will take the stupidest penalties. And he tried to do it last night, and they didn't call it. So that's the one thing I like about playing the Bruins is they will take stupid penalties for you. I kind of with Rasmus Dahlin. I wouldn't mind a Red Wings series. Rasmus Dahlin hates the Red Wings and he loves beating them, and he wants to beat Raymond badly. He's kind of already said he wouldn't mind Detroit. I think I wouldn't mind seeing a Detroit series either.
They got to win some games though.
They do. They're out right now.
Yeah. I don't know. They've won is it 3 of their last 11?
3, 5, and 2 in their last 10.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're -4 goal differential. And to give you an idea, people saying, well, what does that mean? Well, Tampa's +62, Buffalo's +43, Carolina's +41, and the teams around Detroit, Ottawa's +23, and Boston is +16. Mm-hmm. Now, the Islanders are only +3, and Detroit are -4. And it kind of goes to show you that goal differential usually does matter because they're the 2 teams that are starting to fall out.
Right.
Where Columbus is hot, they're +14. Pittsburgh has been hot. Not necessarily hot lately, 4-3-3, but they've been hot for a while at 606. They're +18. But the 2 teams that are -4 and +3, and the Philadelphia Flyers who are -10, they're the 3 teams that are on the outside looking in right now.
Paul Hamilton on the Western Hotline. Thank you, Paul. We'll talk. Homestand continues, so we'll talk tomorrow.
Sounds good. Take care.
Paul Hamilton. His appearance brought to you by Relax Honda. Relax, we got this.